or do any of the readings?
I did.
Yeah, nice. Very good. So, cool. Very good. Yeah, so either from the readings or video or otherwise, what can we say about what is Git about exactly? Give you one small idea. Maybe something you're not even sure about, but just something you remember from the video.
It's a set of commands.
Okay, right. That's part of it for sure. Love says how a group can. I'll just went away. How a group can work together on the same project. Yeah, I think that's the heart of it, kind of. Sweet. Really nice. Yeah, anything else anybody want to share that they were able to yeah, feel free to share out anytime. But cool. So let's dig in. Let me share my screen here. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, so I know I talked a little bit about um, how I want you guys to save your projects and everything. So let me see something here real quick. Let me change this view. No, not activities. Change layout. Just to tie up like that. Okay, do that. Can I stop looking? Oh, I can annotate it. All right, cool. Yeah. So to review, can anyone think like how does code spaces and the repository work together? Like, what's the difference between those two? In any kind of simple language we can think of it. Any thoughts?
It seems like with repositories, it's like saving your code permanently.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. If no one said anything, I was going to ask you guys. One is temporary, one is permanent. Which one? So yeah, the repository is usually like the permanent out of the two, and code spaces should be thought of as like I think last time I gave y'all an analogy like a notepad where you're taking notes, kind of. Um, and so more often than not, a notepad is just meant to get started, and you want to transfer the notepad to maybe like a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document, for example, or something. Yeah, and so yeah, so Git is kind of has a lot of things. You can get pretty. You can spend who knows how many months learning about Git and everything it can do, but a lot of it, like Love said, it makes it. One thing is it makes it easy for people to work together who are working on the same files, and it's almost like a time machine. It's almost like a Doctor Strange of sorts. It can warp time and space of your code. You can go back to something, change what multiverse you're in. You can kind of think of it like that, which is useful because if you take one of the Infinity Stones and you ruin the whole world, you can just go to the other multiverse and fix it, and then the Hulk will. I'll stop that analogy, but yeah. So, cool. Let's open up this one here. I'll open up a new one. So I'm really excited for this project. I honestly just feel like what I'm really want you guys to do is, where are we at? This one right here. This is a great project to practice using Git before your final projects at the end of the cohort. Here we're all gonna have like different assignments all going on the same like structure. Like someone's gonna do the header, someone's gonna do the middle part, and someone's gonna do the bottom part, etc. And you all will be saving to the same repo. So you're all gonna save like different versions, and we're gonna talk about how to do that and what that means. Yeah, so and some of you got amped up a little bit with Carlos. He was talking to you guys about branches, so we can explore that more in depth now. But let's see. So one thing to think about is when you make a change in a file, right? So this is what we have right now. And let's say I want to add a button. And I'll say, click me. Cool. So we just added something new. So now we can save that. And so we're familiar, right, that you can do git add dot. And dot means all the files. Technically, you could specify which file. And as a matter of fact, git add dot was so much of you guys, I did all the time because that's what 4G teaches you, git add dot, and you just keep on doing that. But when I had my first like professional experience, like they were like, or even in the internship experiences, my supervisor told me, Alex, why are you adding like 100 files that we don't need? I was like, what do you mean? And because I was trying things and I would try to install libraries and packages, and then I decided not to use it. And I'm not thinking, I'm just saying git add dot, all the files. And so they told me, like, no, we don't want that in the repo, 100 extra files and a bunch of things. So you could, let's see what files we have available. So we know the ls command. Here in this part, we have index.html, which is where I made the new button. So I could say, since we have access to index.html right here, I could say git add index.html. So I added that file, and now I'm going to commit it. And now I really want people to start getting used to making good commit messages. I don't know. I'm not like looking at guys every time that you guys are making commits, but your commit message shouldn't be first commit or finished project. It should be like added click me button. Something short, sweet, to the point, but it should be relevant. So we commit that, and it says, look at one file change, one insertion, and then we can do git push. And it saves it there like we were familiar with. Cool. So let's do another one. So let's say we're going to give it a class equals click button. And then I'm going to go to my CSS. And then I'm going to say, go to the bottom, go here. And I'm going to say dot click button, and I'm going to say background red. Cool. So here's an alternative way instead of using the terminal. Well, let's do one other thing. Let's say app.js. So I created a JavaScript file, and I'll just say whatever, console log app.js or something. Cool. So let's say my assignment was, we want you to create the button and give it a background color red, which I did. So this thing is the source control. So it's basically the same thing you do in the terminal, like git add dot and all that. But it's like a thing here. So as you see, it says changes. So there was a change in the app.js file. First of all, I created it. Is it? So look, if I click here, it shows me what I added. Here in the red, it shows what, well, that's a bad example, but it shows I added this. If I go to index.html, you see it shows in green I added class click button. It's 2 different versions. Styles.css. This is the thing that I added. Let's let's get rid of this button, add new friend. Got rid of that button. So now if I go here, look at in red, the button is I got rid of it. And this is the thing I added. See, so if for your project, if the app.js file isn't relevant to the button being a background color red, which it isn't in this case, you can hit this thing, discard changes, and get rid of that. Well, this is, I created the file, so it's going to get rid of it. So we don't need an app.js file for the button, so I got rid of that. This is relevant, the HTML, so I added the class, and this is relevant. So now I can put the commit message right here. Added background color to button. I can commit that. Would you like to? I say yes. And then you can click on sync changes. This is the same thing as git push. Go there. And it did that. So now I can do git remote v, open this up, and let's see, look at the commit message here. Added background color to button. That's the commit I just did. If I open this up, where is it at? Yeah. Button, click me, class I added, and the styles.css. Where is it at? Okay, there it is. That thing. Yeah, any questions so far, what we covered so far? Okay, so yeah, I think it's nice to use a version, the source control, because you want to be careful that you didn't, it's possible that, let's say you open up a code space on a Monday and you add this file, you change that file, you do that, and then on Thursday, you finally go to commit and push it. You may not remember all the files you changed, and it could be maybe on Wednesday, you talked with your group, okay, we're not, gonna have the color green because whatever, and then you realize, oh, on Tuesday, I added the color green, and I forgot about it, that we weren't going to do that anymore. So you can change, you can discard the change, for example. That was kind of a
so the source control can only show our previous changes, but not the main branch.
It is showing the branch. It's more, the main point I'm trying to make is when you do git add dot, when you're ready to save, that the dot represents all the files, which is simple. But I was saying that when I had my first professional experience, you can do things in this terminal like npm install something, which can be a whole library that makes animated buttons. You click on it and it does fireworks or something cool. And that installs a whole library, like hundreds and hundreds of files. And we don't think about it. And so I would do that. My first internship experience, I would try a library, and then it didn't work, and I said whatever. And then I did git add dot. Git add dot, because that's what I always do. And then my supervisor was like, can you explain why we have like 900 files we're not using? And I was like, no, I wasn't, so this source control, you can see all the files that you edited. And sometimes we forget what we edited. And sometimes only 2 files is relevant to what we're trying to accomplish. And so you can discard the ones that don't have anything to do with what you're doing. Yeah, and so that's useful. Any other questions about the source control thing? All right. Brendan had some good luck freezing. For me, he's frozen. And a nice pose there. Anyway, so great. So that's one part of Git. Also, what I would love to start seeing with all of you is to make, I can't really say that you guys aren't doing this, but just in case some folks aren't, we should be making commits every like in chunks. It shouldn't be like you only do a git commit push at the end of the project. It should be like you finish the header, that's a commit. Button is functional now, that's a commit, etc. And I've told some of you, one good thing about that is that in your profile, your GitHub profiles, you have this bar here, and the more commits you do, the more green it gets. So the greener it is, the better. So when you're trying to like apply to jobs or recruiters are looking at your profile, they might look at that. And so that's one positive. But also, the more commits you do, the more you can have checkpoints to go to. So if, let's see here, or yeah, so for example, if you go here and we say git log, here we're going to see all our commits that we've done. So you see right here it says head. So I'm on that commit right now. Added background color to button. And let's say, I do a few more commits and it's all ruined. I was trying to add some advanced things. It's not working. Alex can't fix it. Carlos can't fix it. You get the top dog, Alejandro, he can't fix it neither. And it's terrible. If you're making commits along the way, you can go back to one of these versions. Like, when this commit, when I added the click me button before I added the background color, all was good in the world. So I can hit so here, here's the commit for that. So this is like the kind of like the code. So I can copy that. I can maybe open up another thing here. Yeah. And I can do git checkout. And I can paste the thing, commit code, hit enter. Okay, so now I've switched to that. So that must mean that, yeah, you see this button, it doesn't have a class name anymore. Before it did, if you guys remember. So I moved back to that other commit I did before, which can be a lifesaver sometimes. Not in this case, just simply a class isn't there anymore. And I imagine the CSS, yeah, it doesn't have the background color red. So, and so now we have that thing and we can create a branch and go from there. And so maybe we'll get into branches now. But yeah, so I think we can go back, check out main. We're back in main. Yeah, so for folks who either you watch the video or we're in Carlos's breakout room or otherwise. What is a branch? Any ideas what that means?
Basically, you're stemming off, like you're trying a new idea from the original root of your code. So
Right.
you're seeing if that will be like an addition or just a little side factor.
Yeah. And it, going back to my Doctor Strange talk, it is kind of like a one of those going back in time movies. It's like there's the sacred timeline or whatever, and then you branch off, like Shailene said, and so you have these two different versions, and you can integrate it to the sacred timeline. For example, someone else raised their hand. Who was that? I didn't recognize that username. NYC something.
It was me.
Oh, hi. How's it going? What's your name?
Fabrizio.
Oh, oh yeah, great. Yeah, I saw your
Fabrizio,
name the other
yeah.
day. So you're gonna pitch in something?
Well, in my opinion, branches are like, they're different things. You could develop different features in each branch. For example, in like a lot of cases, people use branches to develop new features that they don't want to develop on the main branch. So that's why multiple people can have different branches with different features they're working on, and then they can merge it to the main branch.
Yeah, I love it. For sure. Like, especially if you want to like try out something that's risky, that's a perfect opportunity to create a branch because you can go and ruin everything and it'd be like, okay, that branch can just delete it and it won't affect everything else. But yeah, so to build off of what Fabrizio was saying, often, so when we do this project here, this one, I told y'all that you're all going to get different assignments. Ideally, we would make a feature branch like Fabrizio was saying. So let's say I want to add an image or something, or uh, an input. Yeah. So I'll say git. Well, you can do it in the terminal, but I'll show both ways, I guess. So in the terminal, you can say git checkout -b, b for branch. And well, let me do this. So right now we have git branch. So there's only one branch right now, the main, and you see there's a star. It shows that we're on that. So you could say git checkout. Wait, hold up. What the heck? Weird. Okay. Anyway, you can do git branch and then put the name of the branch you want to create. So I'm going to say input. So now if I do git branch, it shows two. There's main and there's input. And so input was created off of what main looked like, right? Something to keep in mind. But anyway, so now we're still in main branch because you see right here it says main. That refers to the branch you're on. So you can do git checkout input, and it says switch to branch input, and now it's in red. It says input. So now we can like add an input type. Let's do a password one. Close that off. Okay. And so now I can go here. And let me do a label too, just to beef it up a little bit. Label, put for user input, and then I'm gonna say ID equals user input. All right, and then password. the heck is going on? Like, what the? Okay. Anyway, password. Yeah. So now I can in here. It shows a file that I changed. It shows it there. Then I can say added input with label. You don't really have to check it every time at all. I'm just doing it so you guys get exposed to it. Publish branch. So I publish the branch. I'm not used to doing it here, so interesting. So origin. I don't know if that worked. This is interesting. Let's see what happens. Normally I do it from the terminal. Okay. So now in the GitHub repo, here's all your branches, this drop down. So if you click there, there's our input branch. This is the one I did earlier, singular. So I can switch the branch by going and clicking here. Here's the input branch. And so it says added input with label. If I go in here, here's the stuff I just added. And then if I change here, I can also change the branch. So if I change this to main, it's showing me the index HTML of the main branch. I go in here and there's no input. Any questions about what we did so far? All right. So branches, great. And so from there, I hear a mic coming up. Anyone have a question or comment?
So you are not working in the main branch?
Right, I wasn't, because I switched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all the changes are gonna be in the new one that you did, right?
Yeah, those changes are here in the, yeah. For sure. And so maybe I'll show you guys quickly how to do it in the terminal. So let's, oh, and so remember, one nuance to all this is that if you create a branch, it's going to make a branch based off the one you're starting in. So right now I'm in input branch, right? Which has the input in the thing. So you have to be careful, you know, usually the main, so to go back to a branch, you go checkout. So I can say checkout main. I'm in main now. And you see the thing changed already. There's no input anymore. But anyway, so now I can make a new branch. So the shortcut to that, we did before get branch, which just shows us what branches we have. And then I did get checkout. Earlier in here, I did get branch input, which is a way to create the branch you want. Cool. So a shortcut of that, which isn't that complicated, is you can do get checkout -b for branch, and then put the name of the branch. So we'll do, I don't know, call it header 1. Okay, so I created it and switched to it at the same time. So now we're in header 1. So let's add a header thing. Nice header. And so now we can do git add dot if you want. Add the file. We're going to commit it. Added header. It says we did that. And we can do git push. And so now we're going to get this message that the branch isn't like created yet or connected to the repo. So you can just copy that line right there, copy that and paste it here. And then that works. And now we can check our thing. There's the header. And there it is. Nice header right there. Cool. Yeah. And
So you uploaded or you pushed the new branch header, right? But you really did nothing with input, right? At that moment.
Yeah, because I created the branch based off of the main branch.
Got you. Okay. And then you took that and then you uploaded.
And that's a good point. That's why this thing doesn't have the input in it.
Right. Correct.
And that's a good segue to pulling. So let's say someone says, hey, you should get the changes from the input branch before you pull. So before you pull request, which we'll talk about in a sec. So I could say, so what branches do we got? We got input and header 1. So I can say git pull, which is kind of a good word for it. You're pulling from the other branch, and you can specify what branch. So you can say input. Does not appear to be a git. Oh wait, git pull origin input. Is that why? All right, and then from here, I believe we would do this one, merge. If this gets too wacky, I'll just not. Okay, and then we do git pull again. Already up to date. Did it do anything? Seems like not. Yeah, these things can get weird. I don't want to waste your time on that part. We'll come back to that in a second. But cool. And so now, well, let's talk about pull requests. So anyone heard anything about pull requests? What that is?
That's a request to add to the main repository, right? Or the main branch?
Main branch, yeah.
Okay, main branch. Okay.
Yeah, and so main is a convention, Yeah. The 4Geeks thing they create for you, they happen to name it main. It can be called master branch, or sometimes people do like there's the main branch and then there's the dev branch. So that way the main branch for real is like a sacredness. And then dev, like when you guys are working, you guys can make a pull request to the dev branch, and then the thing that actually gets posted is the master branch. But anyway, and yeah, that's a good point. Who was asking that? Austin. So you would think it would be called push, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, whoever created this, it's like you're requesting that the main branch pulls from, because I don't know if you guys are reading the comments from Austin. He's like, why would it be called pull request? Pull is when you take changes down from somewhere, and push is when you like save it. So, but what we're going to go over is indeed a pull request. So here, let's go to the code. We have these different branches. Main is supposed to be like the final version of sorts. So if you go to pull request right here, click that, we can create a new pull request. And so here we have this section on the top. There's a little arrow in the middle. So to the left is the place you want to have the final changes live in. And if you notice, I forked this from 4Geeks. So it says 4Geeks Academy, right? So if I was to make this pull request, I would be asking Alejandro, hey, put this into your thing. Now I'm not going to do that because that's the boilerplate for like students to reuse and stuff. So I can change it to mine. This is mine that I forked. And now it's saying compare the main branch to the base main branch, which it's saying there isn't anything to compare because there isn't. That's the same branch, of course. So if I change it to like header, it says now it's comparing it. Here's the changes. This is the HTML of main, and here's the HTML of what's it, header, and it's showing the difference. See, it's a green thing that is header. If we do it to a different branch, this is the input. It's showing these two changes. What's the last one? Singular. I'll say that for next time. Let me do one other change. Like we're in header, so I thought I got rid of something. Huh. Let's just get rid of this user email thing right here. And I'm gonna open up my source control, deleted user email, div, commit that, yes. Sync the changes, okay. Cool, and so now come back here. I don't know if I need to refresh or not. I don't. So here on the left, you see it's in red now because I got rid of it. So often, when I was working professionally, the tech lead would look at this pull request. They'll look at all these things. This will be a lot bigger, of course, when you're working on more advanced things. And they'll analyze, what did you delete? What did you add? And I would get notes. They would tell me, hey, on line 30, I saw you deleted the user email div. We need that. Why did you get rid of it? And I'll say, oh, I didn't mean to. And they say, okay, change it, and then make a new pull request. So that'd be very common. Great, and so we looked at it. Another cool thing about Git, it says it's able to merge. I'll get to that in a second. But so now we can do create pull request. And here, they would really want me to do a lot in my professional gig. They would want me to like say, changes made, added functionality, blah, 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 and like great notes. They want me to put screenshots. Like if I was changing the way a graph looked like, they want a screenshot of the graph. They want screenshots of the test passing. We'll talk about tests later. And this was really used a lot. Yeah, and you see here, one file change. So many times it was such a drag, like I wouldn't realize there's one file I was adding in the pull request that wasn't relevant, like I mentioned earlier. And they would say, I don't want to see the app.js file in this because that's not relevant to it. Get rid of it. And sometimes to change it, it can be like so annoying. Long story short, it just is. So that's why it's nice to use this source control, because you can really carefully manipulate what files you're bringing into the thing. Yeah, and so you can add a description if you want. You don't need to. Here you can add a reviewer. You can assign someone to review your thing. You can add a label, like if this is the front end or the back end, the data, a bunch of stuff that I was using. But finally, we can, when it all looks good, we can create the pull request. And it's checking for merge compatibility. A lot of times people change the settings of the repo to make it so that way someone else besides you needs to review it. And then, or else it won't be able to get merged. Like right now, there's no settings like that, so I can just do it automatically. But often that's the case. So look at add a rule, you see. But yeah, so I can merge the pull request, confirm the merge. So now we're adding that into the sacred timeline. And once it's approved, it's best practice typically to delete the branch. And so now we'll talk about the git pull. So if we go git checkout main, so this isn't automatically this. Remember, this is like a notepad, right, of sorts. This isn't automatically synced with the repository here. In the repository, this is our main branch. And look at it. I merged it. So inside of here, I have the header. Nice header. This is the main branch on the repo. But here in my workspace, I'm in the main branch right now. But there is no header. There's no thing that says header. So it didn't do it automatically. So what you need to do is do git pull. And look, it says one file change, blah, blah, blah. And now the nice header is here inside of the main branch in your workspace. So that's what pull does. It pulls it from there. And so let's, and another very important thing is, let's say my assignment was the input. So I'm on the input branch. There is no header here in my workspace of the input branch. A very important thing to do once you get to your final projects at the end, and I'll remind you guys of this, but to pull from the main branch. The main branch should be the version that everyone wants to stay up to date with. And so you can do git pull, did I say origin probably? Well, if you do git remote, for example, you see it has origin and upstream. So that's why I say origin. Git pull origin main, because that's the name of the branch. Hit enter. Merge is the commit message because I made a change. So I'll say merging main, and then I close it, and that puts a commit. It's like if you try to pull from the main branch, but there's still something in your branch that you didn't save yet, it wants you to save it. So yeah, but now I pulled from the main. I'm still an input, but now I have the header in my workspace from the main. So that's an important thing to do. Pull from the thing. Any questions about anything talked about there?
Just a quick question.
Mhm.
Pull and pull requests are two complete different things, right? But
Yeah.
they're kind of typed the same way. Like
They're kind of
like in the terminal when you're doing a pull request. I don't know if I missed it, but does it look the same as pull origin main?
a pull request. I think. I mean, you can try to merge things. Like if I can do git merge main and then input, but I think like it's better to do it the pull request here in the
Okay, like directly in the
repo, the
Okay.
GitHub, because you can visualize the files very cleanly and add
Got it.
notes, and it's just I don't even know if you can do a pull request in the terminal, and if you could, it wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, so they are two different things. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Great. And so any other questions? Yeah, don't feel like you need to master this. You know, we're gonna practice a little bit today, and final projects come around, we'll be there to help you and we'll figure it out. But cool. And so I mentioned earlier that new pull request, and we're going to change this to my repository, and then I'm going to go input. So I mentioned earlier that one nice thing is that the pull request automatically tells you able to merge, but I realized I didn't talk about what that necessarily means. So sometimes, and here's an analogy I've come up with over the years of mentoring people. If imagine like, you know, me and Carlos are designing a house. We're two designers, right? And Carlos says, "Oh, we're going to change the windows on the second floor," and I say, "Oh, we're going to paint the basement this." Those don't conflict with each other. But if we both turn in our assignments, me and Carlos that work for the same company, and Carlos says the front door of the house will be yellow, and I say the front door of the house will be blue, it's too similar. It's the same door, two completely different colors. So that's kind of a simple way to think about a merge conflict. When two different developers working on the same project try to say, hey, here's the things I want to do, and it's too similar. It's like the same button, let's say, but two different versions of that button. And it'll call it a merge conflict, and it'll want you to decide, what are we going to do? Go with Carlos's color or Alex's color on the front door? So I have a good example of that here in the singular branch I created a while ago. There's a merge conflict. Look, it says can't automatically merge. And here you see on the main branch, it has a label that says name. And here, there's a label that says name is singular. So it's the same exact label, same exact line, but just a slight difference. And trust me, this is a simple merge conflict. If you don't use good practices, which I'm sure you guys will, because you guys are new and this is part of the learning process, your merge conflicts can be a whole declaration of independence. And you're going to go through that thing and be like, oh my God. It can be like a merge conflict hell that you'll be banging your head against the wall. And so that can be fun. A lot of fun. But yeah, and so if you were to do this, you would need to fix the merge conflict. So let's see if I create this pull request. How could I do this? So resolve conflicts. You can go from the GitHub repository. So you can do resolve conflicts. And here, this is the singular branch. You see there's like the name singular right there. And then there's like these two lines they put. This is trying to like make you look at it like this. And then here's the main branch right here. So you choose one of them. So I'll choose, I'll get rid of the main one. And I'll just get rid of this line. I'll keep it like that. And I'll say mark as resolved and commit merge. And that would solve the problem, and I can do it from there. But you can do it from here too. If we do git checkout main, and let's see if I can git pull, what was it? Singular? Can't. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. There's like, it's kind of nicer to solve merge conflicts in here because it shows you it side by side and it's easier to follow along. That wasn't so bad because it was so simple, but when it's bigger, it's kind of weird to navigate in this thing. So I solved that, and now it's checking for compatibility. It has no conflicts with the base branch because we changed it. Now I can merge it, and we're good. Yeah. And so, by the way, any questions about that? Merge conflicts. We'll have time to practice it. By the way, you can change things right in this thing. So here's the header branch. If we go to index.html, we can click on this edit button right here. Click on that. And now I can edit this. And sometimes I do, especially with like pull requests, if someone says like, oh, change, get rid of the S on on names, I can just go here, backspace it, and then commit changes. And I would say made name label singular. Commit the changes. And now it's officially changed. So you can change it there as well. Yeah, so cool. So we're gonna be taking a break at 7:30. Let me see what questions we have here. Oh, sorry, I've been missing these. Let me look at what you've been asking, Austin. So get pulls, command that combines, get fetch and get merge into a single step. I didn't know that. But yeah, So Git is a tool to modify, remove, append code in a local repository, head branch. Right. So a merge conflict is where changes / commits to the same file are conflicting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll be conflicting. And that's why it's important. And the way you avoid that is you make several commits when it makes sense, like good chunks. You commit often, and you pull from, because often the way it will work is that in your workspace, you're usually never on the main branch. You're usually on your feature branch, like Fabrizio was saying. So check out input. More often than not, you're on a different branch. And so a lot of people like to say, like, every like morning when you start your day, you do git pull origin main. And like I said, I probably had changes in this thing that I didn't save yet. So I'll say, I guess technically I should save. Well, maybe a better way to think about that. Oh, I did it anyway. Well, I guess a better thing to do in the morning is to open up your source control, make sure you saved everything, any changes, and then do git pull origin main or master, whatever it's called. Or you might be working off of the dev branch and you get the updates from the main branch and then you do your work. So if you pull from the main branch in the morning, always commit your changes and try to make pull requests like after each significant progress, and you follow that cycle, you can avoid merge conflicts a lot of the time. Yeah, it'll be good to flex these Git muscles in your final projects because you guys are gonna have creative control and try weird things and use APIs we'll talk about, and so it can get very messy if you're not careful. Yeah, so Austin seems to have some PTSD of merge conflicts.
Solving merge conflicts is actually essential part of the final project.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. And yeah, I mean, I remember a lot of times with my professional gig, we would just spend, man, an hour just looking at the Git terminal, trying to figure out how to put out this fire, and just, yeah, it can be interesting. But yeah. So, any final thoughts or questions about any of that? All right. So yeah, we have our break at 7:30, so we can have a nice 20 minutes. Well, you know something, Austin. So it sure seems like when you look up things, GitHub is just what it is. That's all I learned with 4Geeks. You go on YouTube and all these other places. It's all GitHub. I got this freelance gig with this guy who, in his words, he said he's still programming like it's 1999. And so he didn't use GitHub. And I was like, what? He had like, he hosted one kind of playground that was very similar to his website that his clients use. And he let himself mess around with ideas. And he would use this thing, what was it? It was like I had to click and drag the files and they would get uploaded. It was so, I guess this is how it used to be done. And and he's missing out on a lot, that guy. He just doesn't want to learn new things, he says. But, you know, it's just amazing the way GitHub can go back in time, go back to commits and to detect merge conflicts and beyond. It can get pretty specific, and it can save your butt for a lot of things. You can put test on there and Google's dress code. Am I not following on a anyway, but so yeah, that was an experience. But anywho, so now with the projects we're going to transition to, we'll do our breakout rooms. I think that's going good for us. We're going to try to do some pull requests. So this thing, I want us to do this really quick. With this thing, so all of this whole website that you look at your projects, it's, you know, code, like Alejandro and other people created it. So if you edit on GitHub, you can click on that side top right button. And this is the code that generates that website. So similar to I showed you in mine, you can click the pencil right here. And here's the code. It's a markdown language. So when you put the numeral sign, it makes it bold, et cetera, et cetera. So you can go here and change something here and then make a pull request to the 4Geeks website for them to actually put it in there. So the main point is just practicing making a pull request. So, so you're gonna I don't want us to spend a lot of time on this at all. Like it wants you to find a spelling error and fix it, and then make the pull request. You know, I think it might take a long time to find out a spelling error. So something simple. Just me and Carlos will figure it out. Just I think me and you should be creative, Carlos, and just get him to add S at the end of a word, whatever, something super basic. Just the main thing is you guys are practicing pull request. And then here in this Learn in Public, we also, the main thing for me is to make a pull request. Yeah, so we'll get into that. So try to make your way over there on the 4Geeks dashboard. I'm going to make the breakout rooms now. Breakout rooms, shuffle. This shuffle thing never works for me. It's always adding. Do you ever realize that, Carlos? It adds the calendar attendee. Anyway. So 8, 6, 7. 7 and 6. Yeah. Oh, wait. So actually, no. Put Carlos in here, let's say. I'll put Gabriel here. Then we got, that looks better. Okay.
fuck?
Are we the only two people?
I don't know. Mine just like froze and then went to the main room.
Yeah.
So I think this is the main.
Yeah, because there's
I
no
don't know.
breakout room anymore. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I was gonna say, what happened?
Alrighty. Guess we're waiting on some other folks or no? See, Christian, Drew. Okay, here we go. Everyone's following it. And then Chris Gonzalez. Okay, great. All right. Anyone, Drew and Gabriel and everybody, y'all figure anything out?
Nah.
Okay. So I figured out. Well, Love figured this out accidentally, I guess.
On purpose.
And so we're gonna do that. Cool. So, what I want you guys to do is go to the repo you created. Where is it? Yeah. So this is mine that I forked. I changed the name to just Learn because had no patience. So yeah, go there. And from there, we're going to go to Site and go to Resumes. And if you created the file in your code space, it seems like none of us were able to save it, because we're all getting these weird errors. So it's not in this thing, because if you were able to commit and push it, it would show up here, right? So no one was able to do that, from my understanding. So it shouldn't be here. So we're in this folder, Resumes. You're gonna go to Add File, create new. Wait, before that, I guess the first step is to go open up this. You can click this icon right here, Copy Raw File. So you click that, and it copies it for you, or you can just highlight it, but that's obviously easier.
I just also put the a template that is also in the project,
right
there in the chat.
To it. Okay, so you're gonna click on the Resumes. After you copy that, and then you're gonna go to Add File. Should I take a moment? People want to catch up?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question. The one that I already made, that's not the one you're gonna follow, right? I'm doing a new one. The one that I couldn't save.
Right. So now we're gonna do it from the GitHub dashboard, not CodeSpace. And so any one that you forked, you can just go there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we good to go? Anybody else want?
Hey, Carlos, the link you provided, that it looks like it's pulling something different than what Alex is showing.
No, that's actually a template. You're supposed, when you create the YML file, it's gonna be empty. So most likely you're gonna use the template. But what you can do is to just use any of the pre-existing files that you have there, and you just can copy the whole thing. It's gonna work the same.
Okay. So it's gonna work the same as what Alex has there. That Learn.
Yep. Yeah.
Quick question. I think I was able to get it to work.
Cool.
The way I did was what I said before. You had left the breakout room, that I created a branch and then added the change. You said it's cool if we just change first name, last name, and then do the pull request, or you want us to do the full thing?
No, just only the first. So creating a branch did it.
So what I did was I forked it.
Uh-huh.
I then cloned the fork to open it locally, obviously. I created a branch, I copied that first file, the 84 Moleville, whatever.
Yeah.
Just copied the content, put it inside a file with my GitHub username .yml.
Mm-hmm.
I changed my first name, last name, and then I
Yep.
did git add dot. I did git commit with a message, and then I did git push origin and the new branch that I made.
Okay, cool.
And then when I went to the forked repo on github.com, the pull request green button just popped up.
Great.
Oh, so
maybe,
basically you uploaded like within a branch and not within the master.
maybe something about the
right.
master branch.
Yeah,
they have some kind of setting.
because it wasn't
on
letting us do a pull request from master to master.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a pre-commit hook that was getting in the way on like the node folder.
That
So
also works.
Yeah, so I just did the
Gotcha.
branch way.
Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, I'm gonna finish doing it this way. So if you heard what Christian said, and you think you can do that, you can just go for it. I'm just gonna finish this way, and we'll move on. So yeah, you open up one of these files here. Click on that copy icon. Copies it for you. And then we're gonna go back, click on resumes again. And then you can do add file, create new file. And then we're gonna say your GitHub username, whatever that is. You can click here, name your file on the top right there. So GitHub, whatever your username is for your GitHub, you put that .yaml. And I click down here, and I can paste what I copied. Go to the top. And I'm gonna change the first and last name. Jonas, whatever, Edwards. And then I'm gonna commit the changes. And added F name and L name, whatever you want to put. Commit changes. Okay. So are we all there?
No.
All right. Let's try to get there.
So we commit that directly to the master branch, right? Or
Yeah.
create a new branch for this commit and start a pull request.
Right. What I'm showing you, you don't need to create a branch.
Okay. We commit this directly to the master.
Yeah, you just have to click the commit button, and it just does it. Anybody need help getting to where we're at right now? Somebody want to share their screen?
I need help
All right, yeah, go ahead and share your screen.
because I'm um, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I was doing in this way, but it's incorrect, right?
Yes, because we're doing it from.
So where do I have to go?
Well, let's stay here. I think since you're already here, doing it like a branch, like Christian did it, would be faster. So scroll to the top of this file.
Close what? This one? Here?
No, go to the top.
No, scroll up.
The top?
Go to the top of the file.
Oh, go to the top of the file. Sorry.
Is that right? So you change it. Okay, so I would do Control A or Command A and copy it. Okay, and now in the terminal, do git space checkout space -b, like boy, space, and put your first name. And hit enter. Okay, so you created a new branch named Jackie, and if you notice, before in the terminal it said master, and now it says Jackie. So that means you're in a new branch named Jackie.
Okay.
Go to the do git add dot git commit. Oh, you put your arrow key up.
Sorry?
Use the arrow key up in your keyboard.
Okay.
And go up one more. One more. There, hit enter. And now go up until you get to the commit again.
The commit.
You can go down where you did git commit. Keep going.
I can go in more.
Okay, we'll just type it again, I guess. Commit -m. And in the commit message, it should be what you did. So you can say created YAML file.
Or my profile. That's the project.
Yeah, but that doesn't. It should be specifically what you did, not the like name of the project. Created YAML, great. Hit enter. Go to the on the left. Where the source control, where it says the 3 and the circle on the left. That one, yep. And you see where it says resumes.json?
JSON, yeah.
Right there. Go scroll to the right a little. And not that one, but the one over to the right. That one. Click there.
This one?
Yep. We're discarding that. Try confirmación.
Discard all changes?
No. It said confirmación.
Okay. Do I have? Oh.
Again. Oh my god. So I don't know why, Christian, the different branch didn't work for her.
No, but the changes are still there. Type on the X. Click on the X. Okay. Go to resumes.json. You see that there's the little arrow, that look. Okay. You have to undo those changes. Right next to it. There you go. Discard changes.
Discard changes?
Yeah.
Yo, I wonder if that was the if this would have worked the whole time if
Also do the same with the package lock.
Yeah. Maybe that was the thing. If we would have done that, I think it might have worked. I didn't realize.
Let's see. Descartar. There we go.
Okay, confirmación again. Oh my god, yes.
See?
Yeah. No. Well, we'll find time for this.
So
Jackie.
I was able to do the pull request, but then it passed every test except one, and it's something with the npm dependencies saying that they're like.
Did you try npm run build in the terminal before doing that?
No, but I'll try it right now.
Yep.
Well, the project, what we're supposed to check for is that you correctly did a pull request, not if all the tests pass.
Oh, okay. But how do I turn that in? Like, how would you know that I did?
You submit the URL of the
actual
repo that you forked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if one of the tests failed on the pull request, I just submit the repo and I'm good?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Let's see how many people can get to the finish line here with these minutes we have left. So yeah, sorry, Jackie. We're doing it from the GitHub, not a code space.
Okay.
but I'll find time. We're gonna have catch up days where we don't do anything new. We just focus on finishing other projects we didn't finish yet. So we can use that time, Jackie, for this thing. Anybody else want to share their screen? Who we're trying to do it on GitHub? Let me check with one by one. Drew, were you able to?
Yeah.
Where you feel you did it great. Christian, I know you did it. Christian, you got it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm just I want to make sure that I just click this, and that's the last thing I need to do. Create pull request, because I came here when we did it like the way you showed initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on that part, the pull request part.
Can you click on the drop down of the thing on the right, the header repository for geeks learn in public? That. Yep, that's yours, and your point request to the other one. Yeah, that looks good.
Wait, but should it be patch? Should it be patch 1 or master?
I don't think that matters.
If you never made a branch, it should be master.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Nope.
So Jackie, I know we tried. Shailene, how did you do? Did you?
I'm like Jackie. It doesn't come up. It keeps having an error message.
But are you trying to do it from CodeSpace or GitHub?
No, I just had it from the way I previously was doing it. I never changed it. So
Okay.
Try.
Okay, right. So I was trying to share my screen in the beginning there saying to follow along what I was doing, and I was changing it from GitHub, not from CodeSpace. So we can use our catch-up day to catch that up. So how about you, Brandon? Were you able to?
Yeah, so I continued with the way you were showing us initially, and it went. Everything went through. I was successful with the pull request.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Love?
Yeah, I think.
Well, you already did it.
Yeah, so I just submitted that. So I don't know if it's right, but I submitted
that. Just send the URL of the thing you forked.
So could you repeat how to do it?
Say one more time.
If could you repeat it how to do it for GitHub?
We're kind of running out of time, but I think for anyone who weren't able to finish today, we can use the catch-up day that we're gonna have at some point. Yeah, because at this point, really all this is to practice pull requests and for you to get credit so you can get a certificate. This isn't like a skill to learn necessarily, so it'll be fine. Graviel, were you able to finish? I saw you come off of mute, but I didn't hear anything. Maybe try the Google chat.
I'm sorry, the mic wasn't working. Yeah, I did it the way they said that you were talking about in GitHub.
Right. Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah, I have one quick question though before we leave.
What's up?
When I did that, it said that some checks are not successful. Does that matter?
That's fine, because what we're doing is we're checking that you made a successful pull request.
Okay. That's all.
And so yeah. How about you? That's Austin, right? The phone. You there, Austin? While we're waiting for that, Jackie and Shailene, if you want to try to finish this before the next time we meet or something, you can look at the recording of the class, because I was sharing my screen and I kind of went, so you can kind of find that part and rewind it and try to follow along like that as an option.
Okay.
Right.
Alex, could I show you my screen? Oh, hold on. Oh, gotcha. Could I show you my screen real quickly just to make sure it looks right that I successfully did a pull request.
Yeah. Austin, are you there? Go ahead and share your screen, Brandon. But Austin, are you there? Okay. So were you able to make a pull request like we've been talking about? Let me know in the chat. All right.
So this is the screen. So this branch is one commit ahead. This is the screen I got after I did the pull request.
So click on pull request on the top left.
This is where I'm at. And then I press new pull request, but it shows nothing to pull.
So this is what I had. Okay.
Oh, look
So
at
this is
view
what I
pull
pushed
request. Yeah, I see it there. View pull request. So that's the one you did. So yeah, Carlos will find that and make sure you did it good. You want to share your screen, Drew?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, Austin, did you make a pull request with this project? Okay. Once Drew is done, why don't you share your screen and we'll try to get you to the finish line if you're not too far off.
Okay, I'm right.
All right, so where are you at with this? Were you able to create the file already?
Yeah, so I already created the file.
Okay. So let's go to pull request then on the top left.
You're there. There we go. Okay. And this is what I have.
Oh, I think you're sharing like a different screen or something.
Oh shit.
Alrighty.
All right, there we go.
Okay, do click on compare across forks in the middle.
Okay.
And that's how you make sure that one's the 4Geeks Academy. There you go. There's your file. And create pull request. Yeah, and then you should be all set.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. All right, and so yeah, everyone can go. I would like to see Austin, you share your screen to see where you're at. And
all right. Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
All right, guys. Later.
Good night.
Good night. See you guys next time.
Good night.
See ya. Yeah, Austin, are you able to share your screen?
I think he left.
Well, I see his phone is there, but all right.
All right.
Alrighty, man. I'll see you next time. That was crazy.
No, it was a cool class. It was a cool class. It made me so happy. Have a good night, man.
See ya.
Bye-bye.